third row of the grid, and I mess it up. I clipped in straight away. I thought we had a fantastic get off the line, but I think I forgot to change gear or something went wrong, and everybody just started pulling away, and the row behind me started coming past. So from joint 11th, if you like, back to 20th, I think there's about 20 people in front. So it was that bad. We're going to see it again, just so it sinks in that when the whistle goes, you got to give it full. I clipped in straight away. I sort of start banging up the gears now and out the saddle, but this is the row behind me getting past, and I don't know what happened. I just like to make things harder for myself. I just as well as start on the back row and then work my way through. But it was a quick sort of 100-meter uphill grass sprint. It's nice and wide, so everybody can go full guns and get this space. And now we're going to start the single track. So we had 5 laps in the Grand Vet race. It's a Woody's bike park, so it's obviously bike parky on the downhill. There's a bit of technical drops, rock gardens. It's fast and flowy, and there's maybe two main climbs, but sort of three climbs overall, and one's pretty brutal. And this is the guy that didn't clip in off the line, started in front, and he still got passed. So that's the kind of passing technique I need. Coming down here, there's 20 guys in front of me, gets quite dusty, and I got to try and find a rhythm now, really. But I'm still just not that good at passing people unless it's on a fire road where there's plenty of width to get by. So this is the single track sort of starting. There's a bit of a pinch point here on the right hand side where you hang a sharp right and it's up a bit of a rock step. I managed to get past James there. Everybody's slowing down. These are all the guys that just came past me on the front row, and I'm just thinking, right, let's unclip, let's start pushing, let's get on with it. We're in a race. I'm kind of waking up slightly, thinking, well, let's get past a couple here, get straight back on, and let's get back into the race. So as we say, there's a few little climbs as you go through, so it's quite up and down. You don't really get into a rhythm. And this is the 9 o'clock start, and the 9 o'clock starts, for whatever reason, don't suit me. My brain's just not in the gear, so I'd rather a nice 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, time to come round, get a bit of caffeine in the body, get my brain a chance to switch on. But it's now kind of dawned on me, yep, we're in the race now, the heart rate's up there, let's start grinding, let's start picking people off. But again, I'm following this guy in the orange stripes, let's say, and pretty much follow these now all the way down to the bottom before we start picking them off. And up there on the right hand side we have the Abergavenny Cycling Club Massive. Shout out to them because they give me some good support. I know they're there for Richie, but still shouted at me, give me a bit of support, which helped, honestly. So thanks very much. I'm back on the bike park downhill. I'm just mindful I got the camera on the front. I don't know why, I wasn't full on, let's just at all costs break the bike, let's go as fast as we can. I was just trying to keep it smooth. And I wouldn't tend to be like that on a full sus, but on the hardtail, I don't know, I'm a bit more careful, a bit more fragile with it, and I don't know why. I shouldn't be. The bike's built to be ridden, and I think I just need to be a bit more aggressive on it. And just throw her down things, knowing that it's built to survive it. So yeah, nice and fun, nice and flowy, trying to keep the speed up. We've got to catch up now with the group in front. They're starting to pull away. I'm mindful that I'm probably a bit quicker than the guy in front, and he's holding me up on the downhills. The second and third lap I had a free run down here, so I know I went a lot faster on those laps, and it's just trying to let the heart rate come back down and get my brain in gear, really, to start thinking, right, I've got to start overtaking people. There's a few drops, it's just checking out maybe where their racing lines are compared to the one sighting lap I did on the warm-up. Still didn't really learn the course, if you like, from that one sighting lap. Ideally it'd be to come the day before and do a sighting lap and see what lines other riders were taking, but this was 2.5, 3 hours, or 3 hours, 3.5 hours from my house. We came down for the weekend and spent the day on the beaches and enjoying the surrounding areas. So I turned up 8 in the morning, quick cycling lap, quick warm up, and let's get into the race. So there's a few little downhill sections. This is nice and fast and flowy. The second and third laps I came down the grass, I think there's more grip on it. And now we're kind of at the bottom before, this is probably the hardest climb of the race. This is pretty brutal. We're going up the blue run, I'm not sure what it's called, but there's lots of rollers, lots of berms, and it just kills your rhythm. You can't just sort of bang out a cadence. You're maybe not up and down the gears, but you're certainly up and down your cadence depending where you are on the rollers. So just looking ahead, you can see all the switchbacks up ahead of you and all the riders that are in front of you, and I'm just thinking, right, I need to start picking these guys off. I need to get past, but you know, what is quite a wide trail, for some reason I was struggling to get past. You know, you try and go up on the left, they either close you down or they shut your front wheel off. Go up on the right, same happens, and I'm not really snappy enough to get past them. I'm just grinding past them slowly, or trying to anyway. So now I'm making a concerted effort. I'm looking up, I can see a red top Richie kind of moving ahead, and I just go up to the left, and this guy tries to close me down, and he stalls, he unclips. I kind of lose my rag with myself for letting that happen, and I'm annoyed that I'm in this position because I've let them all get away from me at the start. You know, these guys were all in the row behind me or on the same row. You know, I had a better start, I would have been past them, so that kind of did me a favour. It gave me a bullet at the backside. Started stamping the pedals a bit harder and just flew past a couple of them. Another 50 yards before we, you know, essentially start the next downhill, and I want to try and be in front of as many as I can. And I'm angry now, and I should have started the race angry, I think, rather than in a good mood that I was out on my bike. It was a lovely blue sky day. You know, my heads were in the clouds a bit. I just needed to be a bit more angry and, you know, start racing a bit more elbow to elbow and get him away through. Again, this guy stalls. You know, he's got nowhere to go. But we're like, come on, let's get down the hill. So got past a few on that one, and I suppose my game plan is always to rely on getting past him on the uphills. Yeah, I should really get past him on the downhills. I know I'm quicker. It's just having that sort of killer instinct, that's the wrong word to use, but just need to get past them a bit quicker so they can't react or they can't sort of close the gap down. So back across, a bit of an uphill grind, if you like, on the grass. A few tight switchbacks which just take your cadence a bit, and just starting to grind them out before we hit the, I think it's the gravel road climb next. And again, it's nice to have a few people in front, somebody to go after. And again, yeah, these rollers, it's just being in a high enough gear to catch the back slope and get some speed before the upslope slows you again. Again, trying to go left, that gets closed down. He took a nice quick line on the right. I don't know why I didn't follow him. I should have, and I did for the remainder of the race, take that line, which was much quicker, but just managed to sneak past that one guy on the corner. And then this is the part that sends us into the, you know, the big rock feature of the course, which I think had a few casualties on the day. Hopefully nobody was hurt too bad, but there was a few bandages and bad knees towards the end of the race. But yeah, you had to pick your line coming out of there just right so you could carry the speed down here. Most of the time I did. I think once I squared it off too much, and the same on this bend, I squared it off on one lap and really killed my speed. So it's flowy, so you've got to try and use the outside of the corners, and every now and then you get sucked into that bike park mentality, and obviously the course goes off the bike park, it doesn't stay on it all the time, so you're then in the wrong position for where they've taped. So it's a bit like, you know, you've got to keep looking ahead. These two tight switchbacks on this back climb, again, this wasn't as bad as the other one, but this is like the second of the climbs before you then hit the fire road climb, and you could get a bit more of a rhythm here. I just try to get past on the left hand side, but you know, as always, he digs in, he's not allowing me to have it, and you know, that's racing. You try and pass somebody because they're going a bit slow, and then all of a sudden they put on a spurt, and you're like, well, come on, you know, do that. let's keep the speed up. We could be going up here faster. And I just thought, right, next time I need to get past him a bit quicker, put a spurt on so he can't come back at me. So this time I take the inside line, just cut that corner off, all within the tape, all legal, but I just wanted to get the front wheel past quickly, and get on to the next group. As you look up, there's another 3 or 4 again in front, and I know that we've got some grass and fire rose climbs coming. So that spotted Jersey, he was right in front of me on the grid about a lap and a half ago. So well, actually this is the end of the first lap, so he was in front of me on the grid. So I've taken all this time to get right back to where I was at the start. Had I had a better start, I would have already been. Yeah, had I had better, clipped in and got the gears right, I would have had a better position now. But it's taken me the full lap to get back to where I was at the beginning. But here we go. It's that's racing. So I just thinking I'll tuck in now, follow these guys, and follow this. This guy's got a bit of pace. I'm just thinking, right, tuck in his wheel. Let's recover it. Let's recover a bit. Let my heart rate come down, because it is hot. I know it's early in the morning, but it is hot. And I didn't wear a heart rate monitor for this one, so I don't know what my averages were. But about 500 yards later, I looked up, and this guy's got about 30-40 yards on me, and I was like, how did I let that wheel go? How did I just switch off and let him just slowly pull away? So we're coming up towards the end of the lap, and I want to make sure I'm back on him before we get back on the downhill. And this is the end of lap 1, and I'm thinking, right, we've got 4 more to go. Wow, can I keep that pace up for 4 laps? But let's get on with it. Let's just tick it away. It was a good mix of grass, gravel, and fast bike parky, so a mix of terrain. It wasn't rooty or techy in the trees as such, and then it sort of suited me. This was nice, fun off camber, left hand fast bend, and we're back to the the initial sort of straight that we all took off on. So I was just mindful that keep pushing the gears. This is where I had pit crew, and Will was there on the end on the right with my bottle. He gave me that at the end of lap 3, thankfully, because it was a hot day and you needed extra drink. So thanks to James and Will for their support. And now I had a bit of an open track on lap 2, and as it happened on the remainder of the laps really. So I managed to pick my own lines, just carry a bit more speed, and have a bit of fun really whilst you're trying to recover on these downhills. But this on the hardtail was fun. This bend rather, I was always then in bike park mode and forgetting that, hang on, the trail went right. Again, this time I managed to just ride up that feature because there wasn't that bottleneck. But it just shows how much time you save if you can ride the features properly. Again, big shout out to Abergavenny there on the right, giving me a bit of encouragement. Always nice to hear, get on the pedals, harder, harder. Your heart's pounding, and we're just about halfway through the second lap on the climb, and there goes the eventual winner of the Super Vets. That's Grant. So he's on his way up, and I just think, and I can follow his wheel and just ideally get a good pace off him. But I just thought we'll pass these couple of riders, keep going. He's got a good cadence. Obviously he knows what he's up to, so we can follow some of his lines. And I did for about 50 yards, maybe 100 yards. And then as we get towards the top of all these switchbacks, you look up and he's just slowly grinding that gear and pulled away. And by the time we get to the top, he's another 50 to 100 yards in front of me. And I didn't feel like I was going any slower, but obviously I was just starting to ease back as we got to the top. But I did manage to get past a few more people on lap 2, and I didn't see Grant again. Obviously he kept pulling away, but here I am behind this rider on the downhill, and I just thought, right, we need to try and keep in with him, see what his lines are like. We're starting to pass a few people, but as you start to pass, obviously you catch up with people who are your own pace, and as we come down here, you're just going to see the front wheel in a moment disappear from shot because the camera started moving. I think it was on lap 2 that started playing up. So I think the end of lap 3 I gave up filming. I just turned the camera off because I kept moving it back and forth and fiddling with it, and gave up eventually. But on again, second lap on this fire road, managed to pick off 1 or 2 more, if you like, on the climbs before we get into lap 3, and then lap 3 and lap 4. To be honest, not an awful lot happened because most of my overtaking had been done by then. The fast boys for the vets and eventually the Grand Vet winner Nick Craig came past me as I was nearing the top of my lap 4, so I knew that would be me. They were going to pull me for my final lap, so I had a gel and just put a spurt on. So here's Russ with the commentary.
Got to keep your number boards. I'm not sure where I came here, so I'll put it here. I've got to check the timings after, but whatever it came, I was happy with that. We had to do 5 laps. I managed 4 before Nick Craig, the eventual winner, came past me on my 4th lap, halfway up the second climb. So I knew that was my race done, and had my gel, put half a lap of effort in just to hold my place. So really chuffed. Bike performed well, other than GoPro mount was flopping everywhere. So I'll see what I can pick out here. But apologies, it's not a full-on. There was so many drops. It's quite techy, brutal climbs. But yeah, until for me it was the right bike. Nick Craig won it for the Grand Vet on his Scott prototype. It's all camoed up. I'll see if I can get a shot of that bike. But weather's fantastic, heat wave. Time to rehydrate and back to the training. I think 3 weeks for round 3 or round 4 of the Welsh Series over in Forest of Dean. We'll see what's next. So when's your next race, guys? Hope you're enjoying the series. Do you race, do you just do it for fun? This started as fun and has kind of turned into a bit more of a serious challenge, so onwards and upwards. Happy days, keep riding the blue sky trails. Till the next one.